Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Steve Percy from Sprint Network. So sorry for the late start. So today here we are, another Friday. So welcome to our secure remote working solution hosted by Sprint Networks and powered by Fortinet. So today I'm joined by Kay Kang. So I'll be doing a little bit of intro and then Kay will come in and do the demo, which is what I'm looking forward to. And Kay is the Senior Technical Operations Manager at Sprint Networks. So thank you, Kay. Thanks a ton for joining us. And apart from that, thanks to everyone for joining in today. And we've got a great attendance. And just like every other Friday, let's make this a big success. So without any further ado, let's move on. So just a few housekeeping rules. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. If you've got any questions, please pop it into the chat window. To find out more about our products and services, visit our website, sprintnetworks.com.au. And the one request that we have for all of you is to go social with the hashtag #SNRemote, because at the end of the day, it's all about creating more awareness about our products and services. So let's get started then. So when it comes to remote working in today's world, what are the major challenges? Well, in my mind, there are three major challenges. The first one is the lack of proper endpoint security, which I think is a very big challenge, followed by the lack of a proper management tool. And finally, or thirdly, we've got the lack of secure access to your HQ or data center. So how do we at Sprint Networks solve these three challenges? Or how can we get around these challenges? Well, let me show you how. So this is our remote working solution. Let me describe this to you. So what exactly is endpoint security? Well, endpoint security is the practice of securing endpoints or entry points of end user devices, such as desktops, laptops, and mobile devices from being exploited by malicious actors and campaigns. There was recently this survey that was conducted, and based on the results of that survey, it showed that 30% of all breaches involved malware being installed on endpoints. So how do we at Sprint Networks, with our remote working solution powered by Fortinet, solve this challenge? Well, FortiClient strengthens EPS or endpoint security through integrated visibility, control, and proactive defense. With the ability to discover, monitor, and assess endpoint risks, you can ensure endpoint compliance, mitigate risks, and reduce exposure. Apart from that, FortiClient proactively defends against advanced attacks. Its tight integration into the security fabric enables policy-based automation to contain threats and control outbreaks. So what was the second challenge that I mentioned? Do you remember? Well, that was the lack of a proper management tool, right? So how do we at Sprint Networks solve this challenge? Well, now let's assume your IT department wants to manage multiple users and also monitor the entire network. How can they assign security profiles to multiple users? Well, without a proper management tool, this is going to be a long and arduous process. So our solution, our FortiClient solution, using FortiClient EMS, you can actually enable scalable and centralized management of multiple endpoint devices. It can be used in a security fabric to provide visibility across the network to securely share information and assign security profiles to multiple endpoints. So that's how we solve the second challenge. So what about the third challenge of having no secure access to your HQ or data center? So how can we solve that challenge? Well, so Fortinet solution or our solution secures access to your HQ either through secure Ipsec Tunnel or SSL VPN protocol. This secures the traffic between the end user and HQ and prevents man-in-the-middle attacks and zero-day attacks. So at the end of the day, the FortiClient solution or our remote working solution is a very simple solution. It reduces cost, it saves time, and reduces complexity. And that is why we here at Sprint Networks truly believe that this is going to be an outstanding solution for all types of businesses, and especially in these times when businesses are moving more towards remote working compared to a few years back. So to actually really show you what the solution is all about, I'd like to invite my friend Kay Kang, who's going to do the demo itself. So without any further ado, the stage is all yours, Kay. So thank you. Yeah, sorry for that. We're just having a small glitch over here. So we'll just get that sorted and we'll be back with the webinar very soon.
Hello. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry for there was a microphone's problems. Yeah. Let me start again. Okay. All right. Sorry for my microphone problem. Okay. All right. So hello everyone. So I'm Kay from Spring Networks. Welcome to our weekly live webinar. Many employees around the world are being required to work remotely for the current medical crisis. The employees access to corporate resources through the internet access from home or cafe or even from public transport. Many companies guide employees to use just the VPN type connections to access to corporate resources, and then they are less concerned about endpoint security, actually. Some companies might provide remote workers commercial antivirus program like McAfee or Symantec in order to protect workers' PCs. There are no appropriate ways to apply the identical company security rules to endpoint users with this under the centralized management. Companies can't track how end users are applying security rules or features on their PCs, or even whether end users are protected or not from cyber attacks. End user PCs could be compromised from many different kinds of threats coming from the internet, like a virus, malware, or malicious website. In consequence, personal or business data stored on endpoint user PCs could be lost or damaged, or the data could be leaked and reused for cyber crimes. Sprint Networks provides optical secure remote working solution using Fortinet FortiClient platform. Fortinet FortiClient helps protecting end users using not only VPN connection, but also various advanced security features, such as malware protections, application firewall, web filtering, vulnerability scans, and so on. All endpoints are managed and deployed by a centralized management point, FortiClient EMS. You will see how FortiClient can help remote workers connect to the corporate networks securely and protect end users from cyber threat by walking through this live demo. Let me show you FortiClient EMS dashboard. So this is the main dashboard of FortiClient EMS, where your IT administrator can manage corporates and the user centrally. So left-hand side, there are many menus. Firstly, you can do grouping end users using endpoints menu. And we see on PCs, we see one Windows 10 PCs is onboarded on test group. You can run antivirus scan, patch, or receive logs from FortiClient and also quarantine end user PCs that probably breach your corporate security policies. So let me try the quarantine the functions. So from FortiClient EMS management page here, you can quarantine the end user PCs. So if you click quarantines, let me go back to the end user PCs. This is FortiClient EMS console. So this PC is controlled by FortiClient EMS. So I've just quarantined. Let me try to ping to the internet maybe. So now I can access the internet. Also, yeah, can enter the internet. So after telemetry synchronized time interval, this PC will be quarantined from FortiClient EMS. So as you can see, this PC is now quarantined and internet access is blocked. Let me open the maybe YouTube. Yeah, I can't open anymore. So let me go back to the FortiClient EMS and again, let's unquarantine. Again, go back to end user PC. So likewise, after telemetry synchronized interval, which is 1 minute by default, the PC will have the internet access again. Okay, so I'm quarantined now. So can ping to Google DNS. Also can access internet. All right, let's move on to the next menu. On policy menu, you can create and manage endpoint policies to assign the profiles, telemetry gateway list, and work group. You can test profile next. You can configure and manage all setups about 40 client from endpoint profiles menu. I'm going to show you some major features with the 40 client on our demo lab. So we see 40 client console here from end user PC, and it shows main menus. Firstly, 40 client malware protection contains antivirus, anti-exploit, cloud-based malware detection, removable media access scan, and so on. Antivirus protection features detects infected files real time and quarantines. You can also run virus scan from 40 client EMS centrally or on 40 client console locally. The cloud-based malware protection features helps protect end-user PCs from high-risk file types from external sources, such as the internet or network drives, by calling FortiGuard to determine whether files are malicious. The anti-exploit protects your endpoint against advanced threats, including zero-day attacks, which target application vulnerabilities that have yet to be discovered or patched. FortiClient controls access to removable media devices such as USB drives. FortiClient can allow, block, or monitor access to removable media device. So let's try the FortiClient malicious malware protection functions. I'm here now anti-malware test file website. So what I'm going to do is I try to download malicious file, and we see how FortiClient protect the end user PCs from downloading or infected from the malicious files. So here we see the pop-up message, a virus alert pop-up message showing, and it's the process and the item, the virus file name, and the status is quarantined. Let me go back to the menu. Next is our web filter. Web filter allows you to block, allow, warn, and monitor web traffic based on URL category or custom URL filters. URL categorization is handled by the FortiGuard distribution network. So quickly, let me show you the function. From 40 client EMS, the profile, I set up the web filter to protect, to block the user PC access to any use and the media website, and also social networking website. Let's quickly check from end user PCs. So here I'm going to access the Facebook. So it's blocked. And Instagram is also blocked. Let's try to access to any news media website. ABC News also blocked. Or maybe lastly CNN News. It's also blocked. But let's try to open any other categories website, for example, YouTube. I think this is the previous sessions. It's open. Let me open another website. Maybe Google. Yeah. This is Google website. Yeah, I can open. Any other website? Let me try YouTube one more time. I think a session is saved previous time, but we saw the Google is accessible. Yep. Right. Let's move back to the menu. The vulnerability scan checks endpoints for non-vulnerabilities. You can run the scan from FortiClient EMS centrally or from FortiClient locally. It shows detected vulnerabilities categorized to each level. You can go through the fix process by clicking the Fix Now button. So here, this time, normally I run vulnerability scan from FortiClient EMS, but let me try it from this time from locally. So if you click Scan Now, we start the vulnerability scanning now. Yeah, starting. Meanwhile, I'm gonna show back to the web filter to show the web filtering, the violations result. So as you can see from here, the violation, that you can see the history of the violations. So we try to access the ABC News and also Instagram and Facebook. I think, I don't know what this case done. So here we done, and the vulnerability they detect. You can see the result of the vulnerability of the scan. So we see the detail of the scanning, the severity, and the recommendation actions. Let's move on to remote access. So FortiClient support both IPsec and SSL VPN connections to your network for remote access. Administrator can use FortiClient EMS to provision VPN configurations for FortiClient, and endpoint users can configure new VPN connections using FortiClient. So here, I'm going to access to corporate FortiGate through the Ipsec Tunnel. Okay, I think this works. All right, now I access the FortiGate in our corporate network. So Ipsec Tunnel is established. Now, let me go back to FortiGate to check the status Ipsec Tunnel. Here we see the FortiGate, the management screen, VPN. So we see here is there is one Ipsec Tunnel, Ipsec Forti client, the client access, which is named test Ipsec 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to download the file from our file server, which is located behind FortiGate. So before I access the file server, let me ping the server is accessible. Okay, so let's check. Okay, there is one file which is test, name test. Okay, I'm downloading the file from file server through the Ipsec Tunnel. So if we go back to FortiGate to check the status of Ipsec Tunnel and monitoring. So Ipsec monitor here, we see the Forti client VPN connection with incoming data and the outgoing data, because we are trying to download the file from the server. It's done. All right. I think today's the live demonstration is pretty much done. We'll have Q&A time now, so please ask us questions on chat windows if you have any questions about these solutions. And I will hand off the session to Steve.
Oh, thank you, Kay. That was absolutely brilliant. Every time we do this demo, it just blows me away. Just how good the solution is, and that's why we want to get the word out about the solution. So let me just bring back my screen. Yeah. So any questions, feel free to ask us any questions at all. So, we've already got a question that's just come in. So the question is whether any other solution can do what the Fortinet solution does. So the answer to that is very simple. When it comes to integrating your endpoint security with proper management, no other solution can do what this solution does for your business. And that's why this is such a special solution, and that's why we just want to promote the solution, get the word out about just get the word out there about the solution. Any other questions? Let's see. So I think with that, we come to the end of our webinar. So thanks a ton for joining in, guys. To find out more about our products and services, you can always visit our website, sprintnetworks.com.au. And if you want to reach us, you can reach us at info@sprintnetworks.com. So before saying goodbye, since today is Webinar Friday, we're not done with our webinars yet. So at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, we've got another webinar coming up. So we'll have two experts running this webinar, Alex and Harit. They both work for Sprint Networks. And if you want to find out what an actual firewall looks like, if cybersecurity is one of your top concerns, and if you're a sole business owner, and if you really worry about how secure your business is, then this is the webinar you should be watching. So just 30 minutes to go for this webinar. And so that's it from both me and Kay here at Sprint Networks. Please join in for the next webinar, because it's going to be an awesome webinar, and it's just going to set up your business in a very good way. So we'll be back next week with the same webinar. Till then, take care and goodbye.